Welcome back to the channels, guys. This is Zip with Zip Tips Crypto. And tonight we're going to dive into Flare, which is absolutely becoming a behemoth in this industry. We're going to dive into all the updates that's going on within the Flare Networks environment. We'll talk about XRP staking and a lot of other exciting news within Flare. Again, I hope everyone's doing fantastic out there and you've had a fantastic weekend. And just remember, please do me a favor, just hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, hopefully by the end of this video, you will, because you'll trust the information that you're being given here. And again, I'm not so much about hyping up any particular project. I am a maxi on all utility projects, but Flare is one of my favorite. And the reason why it's one of my favorites is because it's going to put one of my other assets that I love, XRP, and that I know you guys love as well, to use here very, very shortly. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into this and stick around to the end. I'm going to go through the news in the beginning, but then I am going to go through and show you how to connect to Flare. I'm going to show you some of the F assets mechanisms that we'll talk about. I'll show you how to stake on Flare and an actual practical step-by-step what is going on and how to do it so you can see it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to practice and get familiar with these environments. And I will add caution to some of this as we're going through it, as things that are more risk and then other things that are not as much as risk. But remember, crypto in general is volatile, and always be cautious, be safe, and make sure you do your own research. What I'm providing works for me, but there may be a better way for yourselves. All right, let's jump into it. All right, let's start out. We're going to start with an exclusive interview with Hugo Filion, co-founder and the CEO of Flare Networks. You know, he's discussing the future of XRP staking here and Flare's innovative approach to blockchain technology. And this is straight from Apex 2025, was just last week. You know, XRP staking is one of the most anticipated topics that we've been discussing now for several months, and it's about to be here. You know, and Flare, which we'll see here in a minute, they're in partnership with an interface called Firelight. But let's listen to what Hugo has to say here for a minute, just to kind of set the stage for the rest of the evening.
Now, let's talk a little bit about XRP staking. I know that you are going to be discussing that on stage a little bit later. Talk to us more about this partnership and what this means for folks who are holding XRP.
Oh, absolutely. So we're building with an entity in the US called Firelight. We're building a staking platform for XRP. And, you know, it's going to start with things like staking to AVSs. An AVS is actively validated service. This is a service either on-chain or on a different chain or a layer 2 that needs to acquire value in order to bootstrap its ecosystem, acquire security value. That's the fundamental premise of effectively staking in this manner. But we're also going to be providing different types of vaults. So, you know, you have a risk strata, starting with very, very, very low risk things like staking to AVSs, but there'll be other vaults with different risk levels that do more interesting things.
So basically, low risk to high risk environment to where we can put our XRP to use and also take advantage of other DeFi products out there. Now, go out here to X and you can listen to this whole video. And I think there's another video that will be dropping here shortly. But listen, because he adds some other content out there that is well worthwhile. Now, looking ahead, let's just keep in mind, Flare is really exploring the intersection of AI and blockchain, and he gets into it a little bit in here. But by developing an off-chain verified compute layer, you know, Flare is aiming to be a complement to blockchains that lack that compute power. Like most blockchains do. They're opening up new possibilities for AI-driven applications in this crypto space. Very exciting news. Now, another thing I would like to mention to really help everyone out there, if you don't know about EasyA, EasyA is an innovative learning platform that's designed for enthusiasts, blockchain enthusiasts, as well as developers. It offers hands-on approach, if you would, to understanding blockchains and protocols like XRP. And now, guess what? They've just launched the Flare interface and training mechanism on there. It's a great start to just understand the underlying tech. And you complete different quests and attend virtual events. I mean, there's a lot of different interactive things on EasyA, but the bottom line is it gives you a foundational understanding of Flare and many, many other blockchains as well. Using EasyA to learn Flare is really straightforward. You can start with guests that, guide you through Flare's technology. It'll talk about the EVM compatibility, proof of stake mechanisms. It's just a fun way, an interactive way to educate yourself, because that's what you really need to do. And what we need to do is stay up to date on this technology. But I just wanted to throw that out there as we're talking about Flare. And this literally was just dropped about a week ago, I believe it was. So go out there if you want to and learn about Flare if you are not familiar with it already, and it'll give you a good foundational start. Moving on, I'm telling you, Flare is moving up in the world and doing big things in this crypto industry. So now we have BitGo, a leading US-based digital asset custodian, has added custody support for Flare and Songbird. Remember, there's two tokens within the Flare environment. One is the Songbird network. That is the Canary network. That's where all the testing and the development, everything that they've been doing with the XRP staking and the F assets minting, it goes on the Songbird, the Canary, the test network. And then we have the main network, which is where Flare lives, the FLR token. So what does this mean with regards to BitGo? Well, BitGo is a trusted name in the crypto, custody environment, offering secure storage for institutional investors. By supporting Flare and Songbird, BitGo is opening up the door for banks, hedge funds, and the institutions to do what? Safely hold and manage Flare and the Songbird tokens. This includes options for both hot wallets and cold wallets, with staking and further integrations that are on the horizon with Flare. This custody support is an absolute milestone. It's boosting Flare's credibility and attracting institutional capital. It's also going to follow recent moves like Vivo Power's 100 million XRP treasury allocation on Flare, which is showing growing adoption, which we're going to discuss here in a minute. This could drive demand for Flare and Songbird, potentially impacting the market performance. And that's what we want to see. We want to see utility. We want to see new capabilities in a DeFi environment and staking. In short, BitGo's custody support for Flare and Songbird really is a game changer, because it is signaling, again, institutional trust, and it's paving a way for broader adoption. And keep in mind, Uphold will also be integrating Flare support, as I dropped that a couple videos ago, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit when we get into how to use Flare and I go over the mechanics a little bit. But what else is going on with Flare? Huge. Now we're going to dive in. Breaking announcement, which was made last week from Flare Networks on June 11th. This is a game changer for XRP and the DeFi space. So let's talk about it. It was Flare Networks revealing a strategic partnership with Vivo Power. We've been talking a lot about Vivo Power here recently because they have the XRP treasury that they're going to establish for $121 million worth of XRP. So what's the deal that they're integrating with Flare? Well, they're going to deploy $100 million of XRP on Flare's network to generate institutional yields. You know, they're going to use Flare to leverage DeFi, F assets, Firelight, and complement yield products that can turn XRP into a productive asset with cycles of earning, reinvesting, and just a growing treasury. This partnership really builds on Ripple's enterprise grade XRP foundation, right? This should really open our eyes. If large institutions are going to use Flare to earn yield, I'm dang sure going to do it. And I think maybe if you're not familiar with Flare, hopefully by the end of this, you'll see why you want to do it. XRP sitting there by itself is a beautiful token, and we know it's going to appreciate. But if I can earn yield on my XRP in a safe and compliant way and non-custodial, my wallet, not giving it over to some exchange, man, I'm all in on that. Remember, we are here to make money, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not here for any other reason but to make money and see where the future is going with these assets. So this is why it's important, though. This partnership that we're looking at right here, it's a huge confidence vote for both XRP and Flare and institutions. It's signaling we're seeing institutional adoption of DeFi, huge. And second, it's going to validate Flare's infrastructure as being what? A secure bridge for XRP into yield generating finance, which is going to attract other big players. As I've been putting out in other videos, when businesses see other businesses doing things that work, they are not going to be left out. They are going to jump on board as well. And again, thirdly, it's going to boost XRP's utility and value. It aligns with Vivo Power's shift in what they're doing with an XRP focused business treasury strategy. We are, and that's the beauty of this thing. We, excuse me, as retail investors have the same capability to jump in and earn yield. Very exciting to see what is going on with in this environment. And let's jump to the last bit of news, and then we're going to jump into actual Flare and talk about the staking mechanisms and everything that, how to utilize the environment. But with this, now, Firelight, as Hugo had said in the beginning of this video, when he was discussing, Firelight is a US-based company that is going to handle the XRP staking integration. Once deployed, you're going to be able to mint XRP into FXRP to be used for staking and other capabilities in DeFi if you desire. But you have to study this. You have to understand what the risks are. Do your research and understand everything you can. My play in this, am I going to put my whole XRP bag into this environment right away? No. I've already been dabbling in it though, and I'm very familiar with the interfaces in the exchanges and what's going on, but I'm still not highly confident to put a whole bag in there. But I will maybe execute 10%, but that's what Zip's going to do. You have to do you, but you have to be comfortable in doing it. But let's watch this video as I'm going through and I'm talking about this. But Firelight, again, is going to be the staking mechanism. So again, for me, if I can find secure ways to earn and make use of my XRP, my Flare, and my Songbird, I am all in. Many of us that have been here for a while, if you don't recall, there was a snapshot back in, I believe it was 2020, maybe 2019. I don't even remember. Been in the game for so long, but there was a snapshot. So since that snapshot, every month, Flare tokens are distributed to those of us that were taking part of that snapshot. Some of you may have Flare and you don't even know it. But the bottom line is, this is why I'm trying to educate all the folks that are watching these videos, because I want you to understand what you may be missing. But keep in mind, these are non-custodial options we're talking about. What does that mean for new people that maybe aren't familiar with that? Non-custody means it's non-custodial. I am holding on. I have a wallet. I have a Ledger wallet. I have a Bifrost wallet, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. And that's what I use for most of my Flare environment. It is the Bifrost wallet. Now, you can use MetaMask. Pick, choose, whatever your poison may be. I prefer Bifrost. I enjoy it. It also hosts XRP, so you can interact with XRP in the Flare environment. Now, there are custodial options like we talked about and we saw in the beginning of this video. BitGo is going to have custodial options, and there is Uphold. You could deploy all of your or some of your XRP to Uphold as an example and allow Uphold to do the staking for you. And I don't know if they're going to do some of the DeFi or not. I doubt it, to be honest with you, but that's an option. It's a play. It's something that you could do. I prefer not to keep my assets on exchanges that I talk about all the time. I want to have control of them at this point in time as far as where we are in the crypto environment. All right, that's the updates on Flare. Now we're going to jump into kind of token management of Flare in the interface. I'm going to go through this and show you live. Now, keep in mind, I'm using the Bifrost wallet. You won't see my phone on this. So when I connect to the wallet, I'm basically getting an interface on my phone and it's asking me to connect. All right. Again, using the Bifrost wallet. And basically all you're doing is you're making a trust, okay, between my Bifrost wallet and this portal, Flare portal that we're looking at here. So in this Flare portal, you can look at your account. You can look at their staking options. Remember, they now have USDTO directly on Flare integrated through Kraken. I dropped that probably about 3 weeks ago or so now. Time is flying, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, so much is going on and there's so much momentum. But remember, Flare also is a governance environment. So you, as you own Flare, you get to vote and, you know, on what other updates and proposals that are coming out. And there's a management section as well. Now, in order to connect at the Flare portal, remember, what I'm showing you tonight are some different environments. This Flare portal is very important because it kind of is your home, if you would, for your interface into the Flare environment. Here, remember we talked about Songbird, which is the Canary network, and then we talk about Flare, which is the main net. All right, so all you have to do up here is you're going to connect your wallet, and it's going to come up with some options here. Now, as I said, you could use MetaMask. I do use MetaMask as well for some other things that I do within the crypto environment. You can connect to your Ledger wallet if you want to. I don't find that as easy, quite honestly, when we're dealing with the DeFi and stuff like that. And they even have a Coinbase Connect. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm using my Bifrost wallet, is I'm just going to use the Wallet Connect interface. Very, very easy. You're going to connect it. It's going to come up here. I'm going to take a picture with my phone here. And I'm going to hit connect. And you're going to see it populate. Now you can see I am connected here. I can go into the account. It's going to show. I don't have much to show here because of the way that I'm doing things and for the intent of this video. But you can share. You can show what delegation rewards you may have. If there was something to claim, you could click the claim button right here. You can wrap. You can unwrap. Remember, you have Flare, and then you can wrap the Flare into W Flare, wrapped Flare. We have the delegation account, and then we have emissions. On the emissions tab, this becomes important because as you're interacting within Flare, you're going to go into different environments, and it's going to create what is called rFlare, which is the emission token. It's basically just a reward system for utilizing Flare, and there's mechanisms to unlock those rewards and gain passive income for just using the environment. That's why Flare is so cool. If I wanted to flip the Songbird, it's the same interface. And it's going to show me my Songbird tokens and environment. Delegations accounts, emissions, same things as it's loading there. But very, very easy to use. Again, voting mechanisms. This is where you go to go vote. You can see I can transfer votes. You can delegate your votes. There's all kinds of stuff to do in here, but Flare is the mainnet. And again, Flare portal is your one-stop shop. Now, what are we going to do with our Flare and where are we going with this in the future? Well, it's called F assets. If we're talking directly about XRP, I'm going to get to the staking of Flare here in a minute. But again, the same thing. We're going to go to the F assets portal, which you can see it right up here. We're going to hit connect wallet and the same options come up. I'm going to do a wallet connect here. It's going to connect my Bifrost wallet to both the Songbird Canary network, the XRPL network, as well as Doggycoin network. Remember, Flare is bridging multiple environments. I'm going to hit connect here. Going to take a picture of this with my phone. I'm going to hit connect and it's going to bring me in to the environment. So at the home page here, you can see there's a lot of information. It's going to demonstrate how many F assets I've minted. It's going to show the circulated supply of F assets that are out there. Look at this, $1.6 million worth of circulating supply right now. It's going to look at the available amount of XRP that is allowed to be minted. Now remember, in this version, this is not live yet. This has been being tested on the Songbird network, as you can see right up here. Now, eventually, we're going to be connecting to the Flare network, is where Firelight and all these protocols are going to be going live at. But it also shows you what your position and what pools you are in, if I have any rewards to claim. Remember, he was talking about the different vaults and the risk levels that we're going to be able to get into. It's going to show the different asset types and the agents that you can use to pool, to put collateral in, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And it's going to show you an overall TVL, core vault balances, the mints and the redeems that are going on. Just kind of a one-stop shop here on the home page. Now, if we go to the minting page, this is where you can provide collateral. So there's a couple ways to earn within Flare. So if I want to put collateral in, basically you just hit this providing collateral button here. It's going to bring you to the pools. You can pick any FSTO that you want to pick. That's what these are here. There are several different pools and the health of those pools. You basically would come down to one of these pools and you're going to deposit. Now, since we're in Songbird here, if I wanted to deposit, as it's shown right here, I have 104 Songbird available in this wallet. So I could just hit next here. And it's going to ask me, and it's popping up right now, if I want to go ahead and put that collateral in. Now, in this instance, I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to cancel that. But that's what's going to happen here. As you can see, I'm in one of these pools already. I'm in the Bifrost wallet pool, and I've put collateral into that pool, meaning I put Songbird in that pool. And I could come back up here and I could deposit that same 100, Songbird if I wanted to, but we're not going to do that right now. I can come in here and I can withdraw my Songbird, but I want to hang out in here because eventually I'm going to earn money, and I don't have much in there right now in this wallet, because this is just for example purposes only. But you can see, just by putting money putting Songbird into the pool, I'm earning rewards for doing nothing, for just supplying collateral and making the environment stronger, maintaining the Flare environment. That's what's going on in here. You're taking action in helping secure the environment. So they reward you for that. And when you're ready to claim, you can, claim whatever you want to, you'd be able to claim on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It's part of one mechanism to be able to earn rewards. And remember, when Flare goes live, that's where we'll be putting our Flare into. It'll look just like this, except it'll be on the Flare network. Now, the minting. When we talk about minting F assets, we're minting XRP and we're converting it to FXRP. You can see here, I've already minted 10 XRP. All right. If I wanted to redeem those XRP, I would just come in here and I would redeem them. Each lot basically is 10 XRP in this substantiation of this. But basically, as I mint that XRP, when Flare goes live on the Flare network and Firelight and the XRP staking, I'm going to take this FXRP and I'm going to be able to stake it. All right. So if I wanted to mint again, XRP, you just hit the mint button here. And I don't have enough XRP in here to mint. So it's going to show probably an error. I know it's going to show I got 10 XRP. If I wanted to mint them right now, I would just hit the next button and go through. I'm going to get a notice on my Bifrost wallet. I'm going to accept that transaction and I would have minted more XRP. Very, very easy. And this is why I use the Bifrost wallet. Honestly, I want to be able to see it here on my computer, but using the wallet, I have it on me. It's right there. It's in, and it's easy to access. If you were using MetaMask as an example, it'd be the same thing. MetaMask would pop up with a transaction requirement and you would just authorize that as you wanted to mint XRP into FXRP. Very, very easy. So again, highlight here, this is at the F Assets portal on Songbird right now, because remember, we're testing all this. I want to be familiar with these mechanisms and what to do. You can provide collateral supporting the environment, meaning Songbird in this instance, and you can mint your XRP. Very, very easy, low risk, to be honest with you. If you just want it really, really low risk and you just provide collateral and just collect a paycheck for just letting them use your Songbird to help support the environment, easy. I won't say it's no risk because everything is risk in this crypto environment. But for me, low risk as far as what the rewards are to utilize the Songbird and Flare. It does us no good for these assets to just sit there idle. Now, that's the F assets. What else can we do? Let's talk about staking. Now, I like to use Scepter. There are other mechanisms within Flare that you can stake your Flare and earn with. Okay, you can stake it on the P chain with Flare and do it yourself, but I like to use Scepter, and I'm going to show you this environment now. So same thing. All I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the wallet here, but I want to show you I'm earning 54.85% right now, APY, just for staking my Flare. All right. Now there's some cautions within Scepter. There's what they call a buy-in fee if you don't buy in at a certain time of the month. They basically charge you a percentage to make it fair for everybody else that got in. This goes back to because of the Flare drops mechanism, and they just wanted to make it equal. But you can go out there. There's other videos on Scepter and why they're doing this. Just a cautionary note there. You want to wait until there's no buy-in so you don't get charged that 4% or so buy-in fee. So just wait right around the beginning of the month for 7 days. It costs you nothing to do it. But let's get in here. Again, browser connect, wallet connect. We're going to hit wallet connect here. Going to bring up my wallet on my phone, take a picture of this, and we're going to connect to Scepter. Again, this is a staking environment. So as we go through here, you can see we have staking here. So if I wanted to stake Flare, basically I would just come in here and I would hit max. You know, that's how much Flare. I don't have much in this wallet. Okay. When you're staking that Flare, it's going to change your Flare or wrapped Flare. You can also stake wrapped Flare. And it's going to change it into S Flare. When it does that, it gives us other opportunities to earn yield. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But that's how easy it is to stake on Flare. So if you haven't been doing anything and you've just been, you know, getting delegation rewards, maybe you want to think about staking because it is a higher percentage in a way to earn yield. And again, we're here to make money. Now, unstaking is just as easy. If I wanted to unstake my Flare, I'm just going to hit max there and I'm going to unstake it. And it's going to unstake my S Flare into wrapped Flare. Now, there is a 14-day cooling period when you want to unstake. And the reason for that is they have to make sure that with all the rewards that are going on, that they have enough wrapped Flare to execute. So that 14 days is that cooling period. At the end of the 14 days, you get all your wrapped Flare back. Very, very easy. I've done it several times and I've had absolutely no issues with this environment. And I am trying to reach out to these guys to have them on the channel so they can really deep dive on what Scepter is and where it's going. But that's how you would unstake your Flare. Now, there's a request button down here for different stuff. You can look at what requests have been made. S rewards. They have all new interfaces here, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. And there's an earning tab as well to show you how much you've been earning and what the different yields are in all of these different DeFi environments within Flare. There is so much capability here, ladies and gentlemen, and XDeFi futures is coming. Our XRP is going to be able to put to use in this DeFi environment. But Scepter, again, is just for staking your Flare. This is not the XRP staking. I know this can sound very confusing, and this is why I wanted to show and demonstrate it to you. But Scepter is to stake your Flare, not XRP. Easy environment. Now, once I have my S Flare converted, there's all kinds of other opportunities. This environment is called SparkDex, and this is one of the DeFi protocols to where you can earn more yield and you can farm and put your stuff into pools here. So you can see in this environment, and I'm not connected yet, but just the farming, you can see some of the capabilities to earn some excellent yield. They have many different liquidity pools. So if you're not familiar with that, again, this is where the studying comes in. You have to understand what these liquidity pools are. But as an example, I can take my S Flare, and if I have more Flare, I can put it in a pool and earn another 33%. Or I can take my wrapped Flare and put it up against USDC, earn 27%. Or USDTO and USDC. A whole litany of different capabilities in here, again, to earn yield. But you have to be very, very careful in this DeFi environment because there are risks. And, you know, you don't want to get liquidated. So you want to understand the environment completely. So we're going to connect here, just like we've been doing. We're going to wallet connect, and I'm going to connect with my phone here. And we're in the environment. All right, so right now, if we go to the pools, you can see I'm in a few pools here. I'm in a 2 S Flare and wrapped flare pools, and if I wanted to go in and manage that pool as an example, it's going to kind of show me what is going on here. Okay, and I'm in range, meaning I'm in a safe zone right now. You got to remember liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, and as crypto is volatile and prices go up and down, depending on what kind of pool you are in, you know, there may be more significant risk. But if I wanted to, as an example, let's go here to this pool, and I want to go into a dual composite, you can pick which tokens you want to put into these pools. So let's just say I wanted to do S Flare as an example, and we're going to match it against Flare. You can see here, you can select your different fee tiers, basically how much it's going to cost you. And then there's different ranges. There's a safe range. There's a common range. And then there's the expert range. You can see the risk tolerance that's going up as you execute this because there's more chance for things to go bad, basically. So you just want to be careful and you want to understand that. They have a whole tutorial here where you can go on SparkDex and you can listen to the videos and they go through and explain all of this to you. And if it's not enough, there's other great videos out there. But again, it is another environment to where not only I've taken my wrapped flare, they've given me S flare. I'm going to take that S flare and I'm going to go out and find somewhere else to make more money on that S flare. This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you're finding, you know, this information valuable as we click through this as fast as I can without getting deep into it. I really need a whole hour or so. Maybe we'll do a live at some point to where we can dive a little bit deeper and you can ask questions. But I'm trying to just give you a preview, a sneak peek of you, if you would, of where we're going. And remember, this isn't even talking about staking of XRP yet, because I can't show you that yet because it's not here. But when it comes, you know, I'm going to show it to you and we're going to walk through it. But let's just go over it one more time real quick. We talked about the Flare portal, which is your home, if you would, to see what is going on within Flare and Songbird. We also talked about F assets. We've heard a lot about that and how we can provide collateral and earn rewards just for providing our collateral into that environment. And we can also mint XRP into FXRP, which is what we're going to need to do when the staking comes on. And we know how to redeem rewards from that as well because we're helping secure the environment. We are participants in this environment. And we talked about the pools in here and how to, you know, again, put the collateral into the pools. And then we talked about Scepter, which is the capability to stake your flare and earn yield, 54% yield as it stands right now. And then when you stake your flare, they convert it to S flare. And we talked about SparkDex and coming into SparkDex in this DeFi environment and being able to then stake our S flare in different pools. And these are just a couple of the environments. As I showed you here, there are several different environments to earn from in different liquidity pools. It's just a matter of which one you find comfortable with. There's still a Gnosis liquidity pools. And you can see some of the APYs are there. But word of caution, I wouldn't chase these APYs, okay? Unless you are highly confident with what you are doing in these environments, because you can lose money, folks, in the DeFi environment if you're not careful. And I tend to choose a little bit more cautious, if you would, and I tend to choose things that I'm more aware of. I may not get the strongest APYs, but you know, as compared to some of these environments, but I don't have to sit there and fret and be worried about it. And then in the end, remember, XRP staking is where it's coming to, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be here very, very soon. But I hope you enjoyed this tonight. I know this one ran a little bit longer only because I wanted to show you the preview of how to get into this environment if you've never seen it. This should have given you a basic information on what is going on with Flare. We talked about all the news going on. Flare is absolutely growing, and it is going to be a phenomenal environment in the future for us to earn rewards from. Again, we're here to make money. I don't like to just have assets just sitting idle. So again, word of caution, I'm not going to put all of my XRP in there, but I am going to take a percentage of it and I am going to earn yield. That's what it's about. But please continue to be safe out there. There's so many scams and other things going on out in there. I am not reaching out to anyone at all. I'll answer comments and such in the YouTube. Hit me up on X. I'm out on X as well, but I am not reaching out to you to give you anything. I have absolutely zero to sell you. This information is free, and I'm just putting the content out there to try to help the community along to understand what is coming. And Flare is another one of those environments that is growing very, very quick. But with that, have an absolutely fantastic week. And until next time, be safe, keep that mindset on positive lock, and get ready to spend many, many days on the most beautiful beaches of the world together as we get rich from these assets. With that, Zip is out.